Hi everybody, it's me, GhostCritic. Thank you for joining me on my channel. It's Monday and it's the start of a new week. I haven't quite caught up to speed with all my books yet from last week that I picked up, so I'm sorry there isn't another comic book review video today, but normal transmissions will be coming back as of Wednesday with a new comic book day, and then on Friday I will be reviewing the first issue of the second of the 4 spin-off titles in the Sandman universe, The House of Whispers. So I hope you're looking forward to that. Thank you to everyone who watched all the videos from last week while I was away. My kind of history of collecting and how it accumulated and how it changed along the way. The Q&A, thank you to everyone again for everyone who submitted questions to that. And then Friday we had a look at the increasing amount of toys and action figures I am now accumulating, and if you keep watching there's another one to add. This time it wasn't my fault, it was bought for me. So as you can see from the title, this is all about back issues, everything I got for my birthday, and some bonus stuff at the end. Mostly new comic books, because I thought I'd just show you what I would have been picking up last week. But there are some extra things in there that I wasn't necessarily going to get, but well worth a mention, I feel. So we're going to kick off with the back issues. There isn't a great deal. I popped over one day to Coventry and there is a kind of Oxfam charity shop full of books, and in the back there's lots of comics. Their pricing structure is so strange. I don't know where they're getting their prices from, but they just make no sense to me. So I kind of dip in and out, try and get the cheapest stuff, find stuff that is fun and interesting and something that I've maybe not seen before, and will hopefully be entertained by, and so I ended up coming out of there with not a great deal, but I will show you what I got. Starting with this book 2 of the history of the DC universe from Marv Wolfman and George Perez. It's in that kind of prestige format, the definitive saga of the history of the DC universe, the breathtaking heroes, the climactic events, the exotic locales, from the dawn of time to the far-flung future. It basically is, it's kind of a storybook really with pictures. It's not really a comic book per se, but it's George Perez doing the art style, the artwork, so I can't kind of pass that up. I've just skimmed through it. It looks fun enough. I'll see what goes on in that and if it's worth picking up. I don't know how many books of these they did. Perhaps someone else has this and they already know. An odd issue of The Punisher I didn't have, issue 61. Not a great deal to say about that, but filling in gaps as I find them, and they're nice and cheap. Something silly, I saw this, and again, it's the ridiculous price structure on here. This was kind of like, if I remember right, it was 49p, so an ambush bug, nothing special, from Keith Giffen, so you know you're going to have a bit of a laugh, and obviously it's ambush bug, so it's not that we're taking too seriously, but 49p for an annual size, wasn't going to leave that behind. Jim Starlin's Gilgamesh 2. Now I have, I believe, issue 2 and 3 of this, and I was kind of holding off to find issue number 1. Again, it's in that prestige format from DC. Jim Starlin with art by Steve Oliff. I didn't want, usually I would just read in whatever order when it comes to back issues, but this kind of looked like the book you needed to start from the beginning. I think it's going to be quite an intensive type of read, but nonetheless it looks like a kind of sci-fi, perhaps dystopian kind of future story, so I'm looking forward to that. I don't often find these out in the wild, but when I do, I'll pick them up. Promethea from Alan Moore, and hopefully some great artwork by J.H. Williams III. Flicking through it, I don't think I'm going to have a problem with old Williams' artwork there. It looks fantastic as usual. One of the few in here that I wasn't sure whether I had, The Phantom Stranger. Now, I know it was a 4-issue miniseries, and I'm hoping this is the one that I don't have, because I knew I only had one more to get of these, and the cover did not look familiar. And so hopefully I've completed that set now, and I can perhaps read it as a whole. But it's Mike Mignola's artwork, though. Honestly, would you really be able to tell? We'll be able to see the difference in just a little while. Hint, hint. But yes, so issue 3 of The Phantom Stranger. I did not know about these. It was a nice little find, though it seems to be at the tail end of this series. A 8-issue series by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, doing their Challenges of the Unknown. I'm guessing from the covers and the feel and the tone of this that it could be a little bit of a kind of a mature read. I love the kind of brevity of that, as you know, you've got a superhero in action, but he's got a cigarette hanging out the corner of his mouth. Not something you would see these days unless it was of a mature comics nature. So we got 6 and 7. And finally number 8, so I'm going to look for the first 5 issues of that. When I find Batman Detective Comics, I'll pick up them if they're of a good price, and these 3 were, though I have to say 2 of them I'm not sure if I don't already have, because I don't put them in my little list of wants and needs, because it's not something I actively go out and look for. I don't kind of put the numbers of what I supposedly need, but I might start doing a separate list for Batman Detective of the comics I already have, because 615, 2-part The Penguin Affair, the cover looks familiar. I'm hoping it's the first part I've already got. Issue 617, I don't have this, I don't recognise this at all, but it's got the Joker in there, so I'm hoping for a good Joker story. This is the other one that I'm not so sure that I don't already have, because the cover quite striking and kind of memorable, and I don't know whether it's just that I've seen it on the shelves before in numerous places and didn't pick it up, but I'm hoping that's not already in my long box. A trio of Fantastic Fours to finish off the back issues. We've got issue 61, the Mark Waid run, issue number 63, which was part of the Sentient storyline. I think that was 3 parts if I remember rightly. And finally, to the back issues, Fantastic Four issue number 516. It's renumbered, obviously, back to its original numbering after that last series I just showed. So yeah, we're back to issue 516, still with Mark Waid writing the series. So they were my back issues. Nothing too amazing, but entertaining and fun nonetheless. So let's move on to the birthday haul. 4 big books, and yes, that toy. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll already have seen these, but I thought we'd take a little closer look at some of these. 2 of the books I've kind of been holding off getting, and I don't know why. They've been on my Amazon wishlist for a long time, and it's just kind of biting the bullet to get them in the versions you're about to see, but we'll get to those in a minute. So we'll stick off with the start off with the toy, which is another Funko Pop. I like this immediately when I saw it. It's the Moon Knight suited and booted version, which came with the I think it was volume 5 Warren Ellis and Declan Shavely series that had our kind of suited Moon Knight, and I just thought this looked great. Apparently it's an exclusive from a Comic-Con, I don't know which one, but I'm very happy to have grabbed, or at least my partner managed to grab this for me as a birthday present. So the big books, continuing on my volumes of the Invincible Ultimate Collection. We're on to volume 5. I like reading this series in these big formats. The artwork obviously looks fantastic in these big oversized issues. For those of you, I mean, these big double page spreads, the gutter loss isn't great, isn't the best, but for the most part, they are panelled, so you don't lose a great deal of art. But I know some people are quite particular about gutter loss. I won't mention any names, Damien. But yes, that was, I've not got one of these for quite a while, so it'll be nice to catch up with the Invincible universe. I love these huge library editions of The Goon, and this is volume 5. It's been out for a while. Would not be surprised if volume 6 is out. They are so reasonably priced as well, which is why I kind of always put these big books on my Amazon wish list for the other half to purchase for me whenever it's a celebration, whether it's my birthday or it's Christmas or we've got an anniversary coming up. But they're huge, great value. I don't really know of any other series that kind of stays in like one universe but can traverse so many different genres. We've had sci-fi, we've had horror, we've had romance, we've had crime noir, we've had straight out adventure. And it's all kind of done with a sense of tongue-in-cheek, which comes from Eric Powell, the writer and creator, and it's just the artwork in whatever guise that Eric Powell treats the page looks fantastic, and of course the kind of overriding, it's got this kind of supernatural feel to it, full of kind of zombies and monsters and werewolves and the like, and it just makes for a real thrilling read, and I just love the series. And I've now got 5 volumes of this. I will not be getting it in any other format. So I don't know, I just don't know where to store half of these anymore. Room is becoming of a premium now. The other 2 books, like I said, they are stuff that's been on my Amazon wishlist for ages, and for whatever reason, one reason or another, I've kind of not bit the bullet with them. And I don't know why, because they're both stuff that I'm super into, and I've read in one way or another, but not in this format. We're starting with Katsuhiro Otomo's Akira. This is volume 1. Obviously anyone who is into kind of manga or anime will know about Akira and its kind of phenomenon in bringing this kind of genre of storytelling and animation and comic book art to a kind of Western civilization, and kind of blew up the whole manga industry over here in the West. But I remember reading this in, I think it was kind of like a manga anthology series over here in the UK. But I don't think the series, the actual magazine lasted very long, which meant we never got, obviously, the whole Akira storyline. So it's great to start off, and this has kind of given me the impetus to now collect the other volumes to finish the whole story off. But a stunning book, stunning read. If you've never watched Akira the movie, a run out and get it, because it is a fantastic cinema experience. It's just beautiful. It sounds beautiful, it looks beautiful, and it's an amazing piece of art in and of itself. Finally, for the comic book presents for my birthday, this is the one that you know, it's been out forever, but I was just, can I really bite the bullet to start collecting this series like this? But it got bought for me as a present, so I've got no choice now. It's the Hellboy Library Editions, Volume 1, containing Seeds of Destruction and Wait the Devil. Again, Mike Mignola, we were just talking about him earlier. I mean, the Hellboy universe is fantastic. I don't know why I never collected the series in single issues along with the BPRD, but I bought the BPRD volumes in those nice hardbacks until they went out of print, and then I had to get the last 2 volumes in paperback, which I was quite upset about, but hey ho. But this, it's just, what can you say? It's Mignola's artwork and style in this, it's just phenomenal. His grasp of this universe right from the beginning was so well put together. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He had it all planned out and had researched it so much. It feels like it's a true story. There is so much detail in the Hellboy universe, and so much kind of historic, yes, reimagining, obviously, because we have the whole supernatural twist to it, though it's born of true events, I guess. But you just can't fault this series. It's just a fantastic, intriguing, immersive read, and I thoroughly recommend anyone who's interested in the Hellboy universe to go from the start, right from the very beginning, and just dive in and continue reading. So they were all my big comic book presents from the other half, so they did well. On to some new comic books. Obviously I was away for New Comic Book Day. I did manage to get to a comic book store and buy some extra things that perhaps I would have bought if I was in the comic book store myself. But I'll show you the new stuff first, though this one I actually left in my folder for an extra week, because I think last week's comics, there was a lot of them, so I had to leave this one behind. But it's issue 1 of the New Image series 1975 from Joe Casey. I was kind of on the edge of whether to buy this or not, but was persuaded by Ian, the guy who's behind the counter of the comic book store, to give it a go. So I said I'll just put it in my folder and we'll look at it later. So that's that to read. So this week's comic's just gone. We've got issue 11 come out of Tom Taylor and Mitch Gerads' Mr. Miracle, penultimate issue of this series. I'm guessing a Darkseid has a good showing in this issue. We'll see how Mr. Miracle gets out of this. Is he going to give away his child to broker peace between the planets? We shall see. It's been a bit of a ride. It's been a bit confusing. We'll see how the two wrap this series up. It's always great to see a Rick Remender, Jerome Pina's 7 to Eternity. This is issue number 11. After taking a bit of a break, we came back with it from last issue, issue 10. This is issue 11. We're up in the skies now, and it's just like wherever Remender sends a Pina, he just makes these glorious lands look so gorgeous. You could just dive into the page and become part of the landscape. It's just lovely. Jerome Pina's artwork is always so magical, imaginative. fantastical, and this is a great little series in and of itself. Let's Not Remember doing a great kind of fantasy, another kind of almost kind of post-apocalyptic type of universe, with lots of magic in there and a despot king trying to take over the planet. We've got Mark Waid and Jesus Says Doctor Strange, issue number 5. From what I can remember from last issue, we had Doctor Strange going into this, I guess, portal into the forge where he's going to make his own magical weapons now, being taught by this kind of dwarfen kind of character. I'm really enjoying this new premise that, you know, Doctor Strange is now going to, instead of kind of garner and collect and steal all these magical artifacts to use, that he is actually going to put in the blood, sweat and tears and make them and imbue them, I guess, with his own magic. Great little twist there from Mark Waid. I'm really liking this series. Series that I have just loved from the very beginning. We may not have Ed McGuinness on the artwork now. We've got yet another new artist, David Marquez. It's Avengers number 8. We had a little bit of a sidestep, a little bit of a flashback in last issue with the origins of the kind of Avengers BC Ghost Rider. But we're back in the present day, and if I remember what I've read about this issue, it's like them finding their new headquarters for this new team. But every issue I've lapped up and enjoyed. I'm glad I threw myself back into the Avengers life. Finally, for the new comics that were on my pull list, it's an Amazing Spider-Man annual, not done by the regular team. I don't know anything about this apart from I think it's an untold tale to do with obviously the black costume. Can't really say much more about that. So yes, I sniffed out a comic book store while I was away and picked up a few goodies. I'm not really into this whole Infinity Warps storyline event that's going on. I know nothing about it, but when I saw this one, I just wanted to buy it for entertainment value. Soldier Supreme, kind of mixture of obviously Doctor Strange and Captain America, written by Jerry Duggan, art by Adam Kubert, so that's a big seller for me straight away. And it was a fun little tale, mixing obviously those two heroes and giving it a kind of I guess an origin for both of them, but mashed together, which was good. Picked up this director's cut of Gideon Falls, one of my standout books of 2018 from Jeff Lemire and Andrew Sorrentino, and it's just an interesting look at the pages just from the kind of the penciling stage without the colour, and looking at Andrea Sorrentino's kind of gorgeous layout. I mean, that still, even in its pencil stage, is just an amazing double page splash. Now you're probably all wondering, did he get it or not? Yes, I did. It's Batman Damned. There's some controversy. Whenever is there not a day without controversy in the comic book world? But I don't really know if we're really being controversial about the right thing. Obviously there's a lot of talk about the bat penis, the bat wiener, the bat wang, whatever you want to call it, and hashtag it. But I think the controversy really here is that DC have censored that genital part of Batman in future reprints and on their digital versions. And no, I don't get it either. It is one of these Black Label books, so it's a mature line. What did they think? It was Brian Azzarello. He doesn't pussyfoot around. Just look at the stuff that he's written before. Yes, I've read this, and it is actually a great story. It's very dark in tone. It's very adult, dealing with a lot of adult themes. But isn't that the point? It's the Black Label. It's for mature readers. We can handle it. We can handle anything that you're going to throw on in the mature readers, because I've made that decision as a mature reader. Hey ho. Here's something just to finish off, which is a little bit different. Obviously, when you're taking train journeys for your holiday, you need something to read. And so I was in one of the newsagents at the train station and saw this. I haven't read this in years, but it was their 400th issue. It's the Judge Dredd magazine. And it's like a big anthology series full of Judge Dredd and related stories, with some great artists and writers on here. We've got John Wagner, Dan Abner, there's an Alice Cott story in here, Leah Moore is represented here, David Hine, and Alan Grant in there. For those of you who are not familiar with this, because this is obviously a kind of UK release, it's like an anthology sci-fi series that's been going, that kind of came out of 2000 AD, and they're either done in one short stories, or they are episodic, but for the most part I believe they used to just be like short stories and bound together, and you had a whole host of artists and writers and different styles. So you go from kind of black and white inks and pencils to this kind of, you can see this in the light, kind of glorious painted dark moody horror, back to the more traditional style of Judge Dredd. And is there anything else that looks a little bit different? Well, I mean, another different kind of art style. So you get some bang for your buck, you really do, in these anthology series. But I just thought 400th issue, let's dip back in. I don't think I'll ever pick up another one, but I just thought I'd have this to read on the train, going backwards and forwards on my holidays. So I had some fun with that. And there we go, we're done. Hopefully I'll see you on Wednesday. Thank you for watching and staying with me. Thank you for all the comments and the likes and the shares that you've been doing. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like button for this video, and comment down below with whatever you want. Have a chat. I'll see you soon. I'll see you on Wednesday for a new comic book day. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.